It's Shay Seeking or Shalonda, and we're gonna go ahead and try to continue on with this. Trying to, compartmentalize again is not really easy, and to know that what I'm doing here is something that many people take with a grain of salt, or they don't want to see, or it's not what people want to hear, or people think that there is some type of secret plan when it comes to what I'm doing. I'm only doing this is it feels like it is a mission or a path or some type of I'm looking for a word here. Purpose, right? It's something that has a purpose. And again, I know that like many things I keep held in about these situations or this situation, because again, the world will take something that is supposed to be beautiful, and they will take everything in their power if it's not consistent with what we're seeing now, to try and demonize or vilify what's being said here. And you know that can't stop me from thinking the way I may not want to be vocal, or share, or even speak on all of these things, because again, some of these things, again, it's hard to decipher what is supposed to be brought to someone's attention, especially if people are not paying attention, and what is supposed to be withheld in these times. But I feel like it doesn't matter what I do, what I say, it's always looked at as wrong. People don't like it. It feels as though, there's going to be some kind of simulated version of what's going on, or some kind of version of what's going on that is being dictated and broken up into pieces and shared with people as if it's one way, when it's not. It's just the way that I see it. Again, I'm a seer, and that's just what it is. So many people can't handle the truth when it's being given. And again, it doesn't have to be anybody else's truth, but the truth that I'm seeing, the things that are being revealed to me, that I'm sharing with you. And again, it's up to you to discern. Those who, have an ear and eyes to see. Okay. So again, it says, this is just this is a blog or something on a website called Stack Exchange, or what is this? Hermeneutics. Yeah, something stackexchange.com. And it's just and it's in invoking thought is what it's doing. Okay, with all of the other tools. So we're going to go ahead and look through some imagery today, and I'm going to try to explain some things to you through images, just so we can get it, because again, at the same time I'm sharing this with you, it's a thing of remembrance again for me. However, it is something that is, I feel like some of the things that we're doing in this day and age is stuff that nobody could ever fathom or think be realistic. But I tell you that I don't plan many of these things. I'm just dropping seeds. Again, that's it. All right, so it says more about this is the two anointed ones of Zechariah, I'm guessing. 4 were the two who were chosen by God to lead people out of Babylonian captivity. Joshua or Joshua, the high priest, and Zerubbabel, the leader of the people. And it says, I guess this is pertaining to Zechariah 4:6-10. And it says, Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, This is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel, saying, Not by might nor by power, but by spirit. Okay. Saith the Lord of hosts. Who art thou, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel, or Babel, Babel, thou shalt become a plain. Okay. So again, it's almost kind of like making me think that somebody's going to become stretched out. Okay. And it says, And he shall bring forth the headstone thereof with shouting, crying, grace, grace unto it. Okay. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, The hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of this house. Right. So again, neither here nor there. I am trying to figure it out as we go. I try to put a stop to it today. I wanted to really just focus on myself, especially during the beginning of my day. I woke up feeling very joyful and gleeful, and I tried to really block out anything that I saw on social media that wanted to, or in my atmosphere, which is really in my atmosphere. I guess I can't really see it around, but I did read a couple of. Uh, I did finish Zephaniah in the biblical text, and then I went into I think it's Hezekiah, if I'm not mistaken. And it kind of grounded me a little bit, and then again listening to um Reverend Ike. It kind of just like something kind of settled in really deep for me, and I feel like whatever I'm seeing is like it was just like a very deep, connecting, soulful, touching message. Which again, it didn't seem like that at the surface, but the way it hit me, hit different. And so mm, so yeah, it's been a very emotional, tumultuous uh ride. And I feel like whatever it is, I feel it, I sense it, I see it. But again, the world is always seems like it wants to see things in another way. And again, that's fine. I cannot do anything but have faith in source, that things will be figured out at this point in time. I felt like I was just at a peaceful moment that I haven't had in a long time. And again, like I said, a couple things that I noticed on, with the algorithm and everything was trying to make it seem like it's something, a dire situation or something that just happened that I should be concerned about. And whatever it is, I just chose that I'm going ahead at this time, and I'm going to go ahead and keep doing what I'm doing. And I'm going to put whatever it is in Source's hand, because he knows my heart. He knows where I'm coming from. And that's just it. They know where I'm coming from, and the ancestors, right? So it says, I can't help that people want to do things against me or to me, things that I'm not privy to or that I don't understand. I can't help that part of anything. So all I can do is do my part. Okay. So it says, the hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of this house. His hand shall also finish it. Okay. So again, with this energy, it also is making me think of a form of energy that has stretched out you know, his hand or her hand in order to lay something. But again, in my eyes, it feels like there is a connection that has been made that I'm not aware of behind my back or in another dimension. Again, which in this dimension, I'm saying, is that so? Because I don't recall this, right? I don't recall saying yes to any of these things. I don't want to be connected to anything until I know for a fact that it's something that, again, is the will of source and the will of the ancestors and my will, right? So again, this house could be. It's reminding me. It's making me think of what do you call it? Some form of a union, right? A commitment or something that has been made. Okay. And again, to finish it. Okay. So again, this could be a commitment in a good or a bad way. All I'm saying is I'm sensing this energy around, and it has me questioning what the heck is really going on. you know. And it says, his hand shall also finish it, and shall know that the Lord of hosts hath sent me unto you. Okay. So again, whatever that means, finish it could be a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? This is just how I'm looking at it. Okay. For who hath despised the day of small things? For they shall rejoice and shall see the plummet in the hand of Zerubbabel, um, with those seven. Okay. So again, with those seven, and again, for some reason, ooh, seven. Whenever seven comes up, I just noticed like some of these uh, shows like American God. There's seven main characters. Even in the show Lucifer, there's seven main characters. And again, looking at these things and just seeing that we are in some sort of a simulation. It just reminds me like how I'm seeing the world through my eyes and through my spiritual journey, but I'm also seeing it in these things and being able to resonate or um, with a lot of different energies and different perspectives. It's almost like it's always a layering, like seeing things from your lowest, point or chakra to the highest, and just like I'm just seeing things in a different light again. Um, for some reason. Okay, so again, it's almost like seeing the plummet of those seven, and it's like, are we talking seven angels? Seven entities, seven individuals, seven different spirits or souls. Are we talking about the seven chakras? These are the kind of things that I'm talking about, because again, I feel like there are energies here to elevate, right? And then to also to handle us when we end up going or staying stuck in a certain chakra or a certain area, when it comes to this, on this path or this yellow brick road, right? It seems like there's always some kind of something. And then even when you get to that point where you're able to access and go up and down and fluctuate through those chakras, again, in my eyes, this is just my theoretic view. I'm never here to tell you what it is or what it ain't. I'm simply sharing what it looks like to me through spirit. Okay. And it's saying that they are the eyes of the Lord, which run to and fro through the whole earth. So again, I feel like these eyes also are like, you know, I see like a flames, or like a glowing orb or something like that with this type of energy. And then also, like when we're looking at the chakras, again, when you get to a certain point in your development or your ascension or your awakening, again, vibrating with all of that energy, like your aura, again, having all of the colors of the rainbow. And I feel like, at some point in time throughout the day, especially when I first woke up, it felt like, I did feel like a barrier of protection had been, and I don't know if this is just because because recall someone speaking on this that made it feel as though, and then the energy that I was feeling when I woke up to make me feel that way. But again, I feel like, nah, I'm gonna see it the way I see it, and I see that no, this is not the case for me, and I'm not going to, you know, welcome that type of feeling or energy. Even if it is, I'm going to still think positive. I'm going to still think I'm on my way. I'm not going to let anybody on this earth try to tell me otherwise, is what I have to say. And not to say that that's what they were doing, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just looking at things differently, and I'm more so through my own eyes. Even going into patterns of watching and listening to stuff that I normally would. It's just like something was just like, stop. And even though it's hard to give up certain things, again, like there's a lot of ways of seeing, I feel like, because I'm trying to figure out that way to see from everybody else's point of view. So again, at one point in time, I thought this was just like me on my journey, and it's really just pertaining to me, and I'm just sharing, right? Like everybody else has the opportunity to do here on YouTube, right? So excuse me. So anyway, I feel like, I just feel like there's more eyes on me, and people are not, like it's different when you feel that way or you sense that or right? And then everybody else is trying to act like that's not what the case is. And it's just like, it's just strange. It's like Twilight Zone type of thing going on here, right? So again, you may not notice like a lot of energy coming towards you that may be negative, because you've been exposed to many people, not more than you even think. And it's just like, it's a sad situation, because I don't think anybody will want to be in that, because we're all going through something, yes, but some of us are taking the brunt, and some of us are having a lot more of a load on our backs. And so again, from people outside looking in, they think it looks so easy. What is this? Things like this, but you don't really know the weight. You don't know the weight. People can judge all day, but they don't know the weight. They just really don't. And so, I have to excuse, people for that, or however they're seeing it. Again, that's just the way it is. So again, for the past couple of weeks, probably about 2 weeks or whatever, I noticed that there was a, again, separate community of people that were seers and uh, uh, readers. And I started to listen in, and I noticed that a lot more, you know, uh, turbulence or whatever was coming into my energy because of watching it. It's almost like, yes, this is going on, but you were not supposed to know about it. And then for me, that's like, okay, I'm not supposed to know about it because it's a bad thing for me or it's a good thing for me. But for me, I don't like, not, if it got something to do with me, I need to be able to know about it. I don't think that anybody should have to go through something where they have a light shining on them and they're not aware. And again, maybe it's the way of some type of God or whatnot, but some of the stuff that I've gone through, I refuse to think that it would be my particular source or God that would be trying to put me through some of the things that I went through. Possibly could be. And again, then just tell me what it is then. Give, like that's how I feel. If we're going to take all this time and energy to do this, then just keep it straight with me and tell me what it is. Other than that, that means that this is some kind of energy that is upset with someone about, is something personal. It's something personal to do with this energy, why this energy wants to do a destructive thing to someone that is not bothering anybody. That's not even aware that all of this other chaos is going on until again, it's been brought to their view. Okay. And so that's how I feel about this whole thing. All right. And it says, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me saying, okay, we already read that part. Let's see. Let me move up. Okay. For who hath despised, okay, we already did this part too. Let's keep going. Hold on. I'm on the computer that I'm normally never really on these days. So I'm just getting used to, yeah. Okay. So again, those eyes. And so we're going to look at a couple of images, and the images are on this computer, and that's why I decided to come here um today. You know, so it was under the leadership of Joshua or Joshua and Zerubbabel that the new heavens and new earth, the renewed covenant between God and the people of the second temple, okay, and under which the rebuilding of Jerusalem or Jerusalem will be carried out. Okay, so again, this area, okay, hold on. All right. So again, this is just reminding me again, and we're just using our mind's eye, my mind's eye right now. Okay. So again, God and the people of the second temple. Mm. So again, the second temple, and because of the fact that this chakra, okay, okay, and we're going from the top down, right? It's not the crown, right? Right? So it's not the crown, but the sixth chakra. Okay, can y'all just follow me here, because which I think has to do with your third eye. Okay, which has to do with the third eye, I feel. And I know that sitting there this morning, I'm thinking like, no, like this ain't where I want to be. Who snatched me up and brought me down here? Because this is not where I'm trying to go. You know what I'm saying? Or what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. Like this is what I feel like. I don't know. In some spiritual way, I don't know. I feel like this is what this is trying to tell me. Okay. All right. So again, it's kind of like a, yeah. We can also be talking about a second temple, meaning a second, you know, uh, vassal or entity or energy or person. Um, okay, and under which the rebuilding of Jerusalem would be carried out. So again, I think that even when I was reading earlier was saying something about, does anybody remember how it was at first? Can we get it back to that? And when I'm saying like these alterations, I think it has something to do with like an altered state of mind. Um, an altered state of mind. So again, an outside source affecting the alt or controlling the mind or the way of an individual, which is like, okay, I'm trying to see what's going on here. Like, is this something that is being done by source, or is this something that is done through some type of tech in this day and age? Somebody playing God, right? Okay, so that's just what I'm trying to see. Okay. So it says the function of these two anointed of God were the high priest and the speaker of the word, the shouter, the caller of God's people, the governor of the people. Together they would bring the people into a renewed knowledge of God's word. All right. And it says, now this commentary by Benson, okay, It says, as by the candlestick, we understand the visible church. Okay. All right. Okay. So again, and in this way, I'm thinking this whole time I'm sitting in the church that is not visible, dealing directly with spirit, right? hmm Particularly that of the Jews at the time, for whose comfort this vision was primarily intended. Okay. So again, this was supposed to give someone some type of comfort. Okay. These sons or descendants of oil that stand by the Lord of the whole earth. Okay. So these are the ones that are standing by the Lord of the whole earth. All right. Are the two great ordinances and offices of the uh, magistracy or ministry. It's funny how it says a small portion, and we're talking about the ministry. At that time, lodged in the hands of those two great and good men, Zerubbabel and Yehoshua. This prince, this priest were sons of oil. So again, a prince and a priest. Kind of like the images that we looked at yesterday remind me of. Sometimes there's two men, two goats, two trees, or whatnot there. Um, but sometimes when you have two men and two winged individuals as well. Um, so again, the anointed of God. Okay. And again, throughout this journey that I've been going through in the spirit, okay, or in the temple, okay. Mm. Now that I'm thinking about it, like, these, for me, sometimes I feel like the chakras represent like angelic beings and or guides or whatever that are supposed to be like guiding lights or whatever for you. But yeah, I feel like at some point in time, like even during moving down this road, it feels as though you build companionships or relationships, right? With these energies and these entities. There's a form of trust or something that has to be built. But I feel like, just because we're talking a bit about the biblical text and we're talking about these things doesn't mean that everybody was doing good. It doesn't mean that everybody was being honest. It doesn't mean that everybody was being truthful. We're just seeing the whole relationship from the outside point of view. We're not seeing the things, of the depths. And I think that that's why someone, I consider myself somewhat of a storyteller, would be someone that would be able to interpret what, because I feel like even though it feels like some of us are going through these individual things, there's other people that are having a eye in on them too. And I feel like the whole thing of like a grasp, like what is it? When somebody was grabbing someone's shirt, or I think it was the woman that grabbed somebody's clothing or whatever in the text, where to prove that this person had been around them or something to that. I think it was some form of uh, screaming some type of unjust or whatever that happened. And so the person had grabbed a hold of the person's clothes. Also, Jacob holding on, one of the twins holding on to the other one's ankle, right? I don't want to misquote anything, but you get what I'm saying. Almost I feel like that's what's happening when we're guiding ourselves through these up the path or through this ascension process. So again, you build relationships, and I guess depends on how deep it is and how far you can go with your sight. That's why I think it's seers are like very important when it comes to the text, because the way they are going to see things are going to be like shock and awe for the rest of the world, right? But it's through the grace of source, right? So again, it says, or endued with the gifts of grace. Okay, okay, yeah, okay. Of his spirit. Okay. to qualify them for the work to which they were called. Okay. They stood before the Lord of the whole earth to minister to him, again, or her, and to receive direction from him or her. And in this case, I feel like, again, it doesn't have to be this particular situation, but this is exactly what I feel like was going on. I feel like I was representing that energy that is in the world card. Again, holding the two scepters. The two scepters also are of two different nations. And I feel like, again, something happened because of being closed up uh, into that I'm looking at it as like even a closed in space, like a jar or something like that. It feels like these individuals were able to run free or maybe do things that I may not have been privy, when it comes to the four beasts or whatever, the man, the and the three other entities that are on that card, and the clouds and stuff like that. I feel like again, this is a whole form of seeing this thing as a blind spot or blind sighting someone. It's also, we'll look at the images. Okay, we'll look at some more images after this. So the prince, the priest were okay. All right. So again, endowed with the gifts of grace of his spirit. Okay, to qualify them for the work which they were called. They stood before the Lord of the whole earth to minister to him and to receive direction from. Okay, yeah, exactly. So I feel like this is what it was. You know what I'm saying? They were taking, information again, or were there to observe, right? That means you're taking some type of information or insight, right? It's almost like that song, Fill My Mind Up with Ideas. Okay. This is kind of like what it reminds me of. And so, and at the same time, and while I was in that place, I was being fed things. But at the same time, it's not even being fed if to me it felt deceptive, because I like to be able to know, to make my own assessment, to see. And I feel like there has to be more of a reason why I was in that capsule of some sense and being fed little bits and pieces. So I had to step outside, right? I had to break out of there again, whether it was something where it was done to me, or whether I decided to break out. So I can kind of look and see what the hell else is going on around here, because something just doesn't feel right to me. And then by the time that's happening, it feels like, wow, wait, something's come to an end. It's too late for something, but it's never too late. With me, I just don't never see it like that. I just never see it like that. I can never sit in anybody telling me it's too late, or don't ask, or you already asked. That's not my personality. So again, I feel like, yes, this is what we're talking about. And the great influence they had upon affairs of the church at the time. And again, these people are going to have influence on the church at the time. And again, if we see this, like, I was just looking, okay, and I don't know if we'll do it later on or not, but I was just looking. I had um what do you call this thing? I had another like panel of information up here that I had up for a while, and I haven't been down here for a long time or whatever. So, and it was showing different images of the presidents over time taking the oath, from Washington to Obama and all. And I'm just looking at these images, and it's just something. I was going through some emotions at that point in time, saying, how many times have we seen somebody stand in front of us and take that oath? If you would have just seen, because I was clicking, it was like 10 images here. And I don't know what happened to the page. It kind of disappeared when I was trying to clean off the desktop and clean out the computer. Um, and it just was making me think, how many people have raised their hand and taken that oath for us to be at this position that we're in today, as just, the lower class people, right? So again, I can see why Source has come to do a new thing, but it had to start with something that had started or was triggered within us, to show us the truth of some things that were going on, and that we're not really seeing the world like we need to be seeing it. So again, it's always going to be a spark of something, again, with the man in the mirror or with you, that's going to lead the revolution. Why it would be televised in my eyes, but not. You see? But it was just something. It's just something that struck me like, wow, you know And just not for nothing, you notice that again, the very people that feel like they're affected, excuse me, we're just going to use so-called people of color. You don't see many of them in those, and I'm just saying, just it's just the way that I look at the world, right? Whether this was done by design or not, right? So again, in that case, you're going to feel like, okay, we're going too far left. Going too far left. But we're going to just go there real quick, right? So that's going to give the perception that the reason why things are not going right with us is because look at the color of the people that are in worse situation, and look at the color of people, the so-called color of the people that are holding office. But again, if you can look deeper than that, that's just your emotional, your first initial reaction. If you really look at the situation, it's kind of like, okay, somebody was fooled, right? But then again, we woke up. We went through that point where we have to be the bigger person and see things for what they are, not the color of your skin, not your level of success, not your whatever type of however much money you have in a bank. These kind of things that we thought were things that had some form of substance that would lead us in the right direction. But you got plenty of people that don't have money today, and you have some people that do have it and still look at things. So again, it's just really a thing of thinking about our mindsets, and again, what each one person can do to help, you know, lift someone else up and not be so, I guess, judgmental to the point, right? Where we may be blocking a somewhat so-called blessing, or someone had been sent with a message because of what we think. And again, I don't care who you is. You know good and well that again, if somebody is violating somebody's privacy in a sense, I mean, to me it's not cool. But I guess that people are interested. They're curious about certain individuals. I mean, it's just for me, I just wouldn't feel comfortable with it. Mm. If somebody's sharing some information with me, that's the information I want to know. And again, unless it's in my household, I don't want to know nothing deeper. And if I got to dig that damn deep, then it's a problem. There's a problem with this, and then a problem with me, because I know certain things, like for me, that kind of crept up during this whole journey into my life. It made me start acting some kind of way that I don't like. And the other day, I just had to sit down and say, I don't like the way you acting. You ain't never been nobody that been like that. You know what I'm saying? Cut that out. That ain't even cute. Like you ain't, you don't even think like that. Why is you acting like this? So again, I had to say, okay, some things are what I'm doing, and some things are because of 100% because of outside influence, outside things, wrenches being thrown into the mechanisms of something, the workings of something, right? So I had to think back to some of the ways that some of these gods deal with individuals when they want them to do something or see something. And some of the ways are not too nice for whatever reason. But I feel like whenever it's a sense like that, like if it's my God, it should be something that I can naturally feel, sense, or see. I shouldn't have to work that hard. So in this case, is this a foreign God or one that is not my God that is trying to, you know, deal with me in a certain way because I can't hear, I can't see, or I won't listen again. But it's almost like somebody speaking to you in a different language. Like, and then I had to ask myself, is this really your creator, your form of? Because out of love in the way you are and the way that you are, is this, examine this. So anyhow, we're getting off the subject, and I'm talking too much at this point in time. But it is. It's just it's a thing. So, okay, anyways, the whole earth to minister to him and receive direction from him. And I said him or her because I was just telling you guys the situation, again, dealing in the spirit when it comes to me. All right. And again, I feel like whoever these, and I know who these individuals are in my eyes, right? Since I've examined the situation. But again, dealing with my spirit must be different than dealing with me as an individual. Same thing as dealing with their spirit or their soul would be different than dealing with the individual that I see in this realm, right? So again, and this is what I feel like. I feel like two male energies, again, in my eyes, have had a great influence upon the affairs of this church or this vassal or this body, hmm at that time, for their wisdom, courage, again, because I feel like, in a sense, that sometimes I felt like whatever's resonating or radiating off of me may be a little bit strong. And this may be why you know, some people are lured in, but I don't let people in too deep or too close too soon. And then there's some people that just they're amazed. They look at your energy almost like they're amazed, but they keep their distance. They're okay with keeping their distance for whatever reason. And this whole time, like, I've been thinking, like, okay, so if we do have a situation where two people were sent in, or energies or whatnot, you know, mm, it's also, again, the confusion, that whole thing about confusion. Anyways, courage and zeal were continually emptying themselves into the golden bowl. So again, yeah, courage and zeal. Okay. But excuse me, I don't see love there, right? And again, what is love really? You know? I guess you just feel like sometimes if you're giving it out, you should be receiving it too. But again, I feel like I've been in situations again in my life where that has not been the case. So I'm okay with knowing how to love or take care of that portion or that part for myself, in a sense, in some cases. I think, that's just a way I think a lot of people possibly were raised. And that's not everybody. I just said people that have had to, see things the hard way or toughen up or be able to make something work, even when it's not, you may not have been dealt the best cards, but you're going to always be able to make it work. Okay. So again, this zeal and this courage is definitely making me think of certain obstacles and things that have come up even throughout my entire life, you know. It says to keep the lamps burning. Okay, so again, just to keep the lamps, more than one, burning. And when they should be removed. Okay, so again, this is also, like, this is really telling, I guess, because we'll just keep going. I won't put my 2 cents in yet. Others will be raised. Okay. Oh, okay. Exactly what I said. Same thing. It's the same thing what I said. Well, this is just what I'm about to say that I said I wasn't going to say. Because this is exactly what it feels like. It feels like you're coming here, you're okay, courage and zeal. We're not going to show no love or whatever. And so this is the way I examine the text. It is what it is. I don't try to make it fit to make nobody, not a God or nobody, feel comfortable. It is what it, and this is why I say I feel like some of this stuff doesn't apply to me in a sense. I see myself in a different light. It's not even a better than nobody. It's just knowing where I'm seeing myself and knowing who the hell I am. Getting to know and remember who I am, right? So it's saying again, now let's see how this makes sense. Because again, who, you have people coming around to take, 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 take. But again, who's gonna give back? What's gonna be happening? Is this because source is now gonna take a seat? Right? So again, and when they should be removed, others would be raised up to carry on the same work. Again, And Israel should not be left without prince and priest. So again, this is how I'm seeing it. I've never, like, I didn't want to come off some kind of way. And I think this little tiny piece here, of course, I'm going to go ahead and have to go back into the text, right? But basically, this just about describes it. And if it's something that I've experienced, then I just see it that way. And this is kind of like a confirmation. It says source, and click here for more information. But we're just going to finish reading this part right here. Oh, okay. So we're talking about Cyrus, and okay, so kind of like the same thing we were in the Hebrew history of the Hebrews the other day. The immediate application was to release from captivity. To the release from captivity in about 538, which again could be 1538. I would advise you to look around. Under Cyrus and Darius the Mede. Okay. And you notice this Cyrus, Darius. Okay. The fulfilled application, the future meaning was to the high priest and callers of the word. Okay, so again, the future meaning was to the high priest and callers of the word of God under the gospel of Christ. Okay, the word of God under the gospel of Christ. Anytime I see Christ, I'm thinking, again, the Ruach, I'm thinking the Holy Spirit, I'm thinking, again, I don't see a feminine energy here. Masculine, feminine, someone that has, I don't know. It's like a dual something I see here. Either two individuals that are going to come together and form that form of Christ, because one is going to bring something to the table and the other is going to bring something to the table. And when they put it together, it's going to spark something that's going to bring out that form of a consciousness, right? So it says, Christ became our high priest at his death on the cross. He assigned certain disciples to be his callers and leaders of the people. Again, when I'm looking at this, I feel like at one point in time, again, throughout this journey in that space, that this is exactly what, when I first started this journey, this is exactly what happened. Certain people in their energy or their spirit led me to look at these people in some kind of way. And I think at some point in time, them and dealing with whatever else and the energies that were around, I feel like at some point in time, it just was sucking me dry, like to death. And I felt like if it wasn't for me taking my head out for a second and re-examining what was going on and why it felt like all eyes were on me, I wouldn't have been able to see what was going on in the background. I wouldn't have been able to pinpoint certain portions of or things that were going on in the background. And I think that that's why things had to be like, well, I feel like it's like somebody said close up shop now, because somebody is on to, they see now, they're seeing all things now, right? And now they're even taking this and using it where they are able to tap into that deeper part of them and not be afraid to tap into that and express it, because people won't agree or may think, oh, that's this or that. So the messengers of the gospel call of Christ, the apostles, the disciples of the new heaven and new earth under the new covenant. The apostles established Christ church under the new covenant. The parallel then is Yehoshua to Christ, or Yeshua. I like to look at Yeshaya also sometimes. And again, I feel like we're still dealing with energy and frequency. And Zerubbabel to the apostles collectively. Again, this is reminding me of a collective unit. This then lets us understand Revelations 2 olive trees. Okay, so Zechariah 4 and 14. Again, today is the 18th. So again, all of this within the past couple of days, even though it's not the fourth month of 14, but the day 14. Okay. I don't know. It just works like that for me sometimes. Then said he, these are the two anointed ones that stand by the Lord of the whole earth. Again, if we go back to Jupiter ascending, we'll see that she was the gatekeeper or the key. She was the one that was the owner of the whole earth, basically. But she had, during that time, what did she have? People around her that were one person around her that was there to help her and guide her and protect her, but everybody else around her was suspect. And how did she look at the world? That there's nothing left in the world where you can trust people. She had kind of like trust issues or whatever. They try to make her feel some kind of way, like abandonment, all this stuff, but it's just she knew who she was from a time. And so it's just like yeah. And then once she was able to step into some of the things that she went through on her journey, she realized why she couldn't trust everybody, because there was a calling for her and only her. So again, Revelations 11 and 4, these are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before God of the earth. Okay. The olive tree bears olives, which render olive oil. Okay. Anointed ones comes from the figurative use of to the oil, an application of oil to the head, and meant called by appointed by God for a special office or purpose. Again. So again, if that is the case, then it's just like, okay, we can see this. And we can see, yeah, that's a purpose or whatever. And then I guess you will have to have some type of a faith or a vision or something like a organic, like that flow that I feel like I had this morning. Although everybody else wants to make it look like this way because they can't see the depths of the work that has been done. But and you know that source didn't put you through. I know source didn't put me through all that. In order just to leave me sitting here and then get me doubting or thinking that way or having a negative feeling would have been something that would have made me probably stick in a certain mindset or a way of thinking. But I said, no. I had to think to myself even last night, or no, it was early this morning. Am I thinking these things, or are these things sometimes what I'm thinking stuff that is from uh again, I look at it as a form of mind control, whatever, if you let it, things that you hear or take in or see. And are those things speaking, or are these things really what you really feel? Is somebody else molding you to not trust this individual or that individual? Or is this really what you feel? And why are you battling between the two? Because the heart automatically feels some kind of way, but the mind, again, can start taking you in another direction. Luke 4:18 and 19. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. And again, wow. Today. What is today? Stop, y'all. Hold on. Oh, stop. Oh my goodness. Okay. 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 I don't know, y'all. Just leave me alone. Sometimes it's just coming to the realization of some of these things. Ew. Oh. I don't know, y'all. Okay, let me tell you. Let me tell you. Okay, let me just tell you what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you is it's just this feeling. And I never thought that this would be me. 15, 20 years ago in the Bible and with in God and the way I was feeling and like I just never thought. And so it's just like, I don't know, something to me. It's something. I don't know. Let's keep going. Okay. All right. So mm, Luke 4:18 through 19. Okay. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of the sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. Christ was chosen, anointed by God, and he became our high priest. Okay, y'all see what it is. I'm reading it like Acts and stuff. Like y'all can't see the screen this time, but you can see it. God chose, anointed the apostles to preach the gospel call, to shout the message of the new covenant to be found in Christ. Now he which stabilizeth us with you in Christ and hath anointed us is God. All right. So we have an anointing to the high priest and the anointing of the apostles and leaders who preach the message, and the two witnesses are defined in Revelations as the two olive trees of the new covenant and the new heaven and earth prophesied from old. That these two olive trees in Revelations were killed after 3.5 days. Oh, okay. Or 3.5 years. Reflects the death of Christ after his 3.5 year ministry and the death of the two most prominent leaders, apostles Peter and Paul. All right, so that just took the joy out of everything. Three and a half years before the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD. I think we did something about this already on the channel. For their testimony to be continued to cry out. The dead bodies lying in the streets of Jerusalem 3.5 years was not literal. That was a figurative use, meaning their words and their teachings would be reinforced by their death, and the gospel would spread because of it for 3.5 years before the city of Jerusalem would be destroyed. The parallel must mirror the job function, the calling for which God proposed them, and ones who reflect the same calling. Yeah, I was just thinking that. Who reflect the same calling. Yeah. So when we see this image of when I go back upstairs, we'll do those images. We'll start on these now, of the different flowers now that are spewing throughout that habitation that's in the middle of the scene, and then you see up above, like on a flying object. We looked at it yesterday. Um, that is on that image. It kind of reminds me of that. So again, and then that blooming or blossoming of those new floral and the new vinery and stuff that is on there almost makes me think like it was someone was bound for this to happen, and then again that energy will be given to someone else, but then it seems like this person now is going to float up into some other type of something. I don't know, is what I feel like I'm seeing, or off into the distance. And yeah. Okay, so let's look here before we go. If I take one thing from this, that right there on the 18th, I mean in 18, The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. And I felt like today, like I'm just sitting there, I'm going through my thing, I'm feeling all good this morning. But then again, it's kind of like I was sitting out in the sunroom, and it's kind of like something was like pushing me on my shoulders, like, get up. you know, even other soul siblings. I feel like their message was wrapped around get up. Yeah, I know you feeling like this because it's like I felt like, okay, if I was feeling bad, if I continued, like when I immediately woke up first thing in the morning, like three something in the morning, I think, I was feeling like a heaviness, and then went back to bed, and then when I woke up, it was like a joyful feeling. And so it's just like whole time I'm thinking there's a process of something going on that it would leave me feeling really happy, but then kind of sad. And so the whole thing about now the death, and this is the thing, I've been feeling like this is these losses or whatever throughout time. And it's, yes, it's almost like, yes, it's you had to finish a situation in order to move, you know. Well, let's just look at these images. Okay, so again, just this is because we're looking at something like as a whole, we're just taking visuals and everything, throwing it into this situation because this seems like these things correlate with each other, with each other. So again, I don't even know all. We're basically just going off imagery right now alone. So this is some. I was watching a documentary about, you know, uh, Ishtar, Inanna, whatnot, and I noticed this thing here, and it's just kind of just strange or whatever because it says this is 10th century BCE nails. Again, we're not going to look up any words or anything. We're just looking at visuals. And I thought how funny this looked because it kind of reminds me of the world card again in tarot, and it kind of just reminds me of a television, basically. So teleport, telepathic, television, telepathy, you know, telegraph. It's just like I don't know. It just was bringing me there. So again, here is the thing from the front, and then here it is from the side, and this just looked like a TV to me, a capsule or something that would keep something enclosed, a cage, even a cage. And then these eyes right here. I mean, this reminds me of eyes, right? It almost even looked like a helmet, right? You see somebody here out here in this window. You see somebody that's just standing out in this doorway. You see the two trees here that kind of look like two scepters or two scepters. Nails from Transjordan. Same thing. And we see in one of the images that we saw the other day, the lady was sitting there, and on her head there was like a bird. Again, the same thing we see in ancient Egypt, almost possibly, right? With the bird here, that's kind of like a bird slash serpent. I think there's a bird on one and a serpent on one of the heads of the pharaohs. But again, there's like she's in a cell or in a something, right? I mean, because it's going to show her in one of these things in a minute. Same thing, almost like a tomb or something. And then here you have the two individuals here, and then the two like I don't know, they look like gargoyles here, but again, fowl of the air, and then the beast, possibly. Here she is standing there, almost like a bird, like in a cage. The wings here, even her wings are up here with the sun. Then you have this stick here that always reminds me of like a stick, like the stick of, uh, I think it was Joseph and Ephraim, or Ephraim and someone. Ephraim holding the sticks of. But anyways, it reminds me of the two like sticks or whatever, but joined as one. It's almost like a boomerang effect almost. And just like even just being in his energy and trying to figure out how to get out of it, but then you just come right back to it. Every time I want to leave, something keep calling me back. I need you in my life. And it's like that energy. It's like not even so much a thing that has to do with anything that is like in like a sexual or romantic, or it's just like a bond or something. Again, um yeah. And then even this here makes me think about, because a lot of times when you see in like churches and cathedrals, like we looked at, you'll see like these things that have like these funny shapes here, but if you look closer, like what we did, um, like we did on the coat of arms for, I think it was the coat of arms video that we did within the past week. Okay, you'll notice that these are kind of like the same kind of little things that those the witnesses or whatever, the elders or whatever were in. You see, it's kind of almost like the same thing. And if you look real close, it might be someone wrapped up in something in here. So again, when we're talking Hathor, uh, capital, again, even the shape of her hair, like all this stuff, this is like I want to say do I did he did, but like it's kind of like a doo wop kind of hairstyle, right? But then if you look closer, you'll see like different stuff that I don't know, like these is it's kind of like bondage or binded, almost like even a fascist kind of look here. And then you have up here, what is this? Is this representing Source sitting on his throne? And then you have the, same thing here. And then there's a sun right here, and all the little arms or hands or whatever stretched out like ancient Egypt. Okay. These are just like images of, this was in the documentary or whatever. Same thing, her with her breast out all the time. And then you'll notice that here, there's some plant taking root. Kind of like the same thing here. And then look, the tomb of Thutmose or Tutmosis. Mm. And then we have Moses or Moses. Isn't this the guy's name that the president of Haiti or Haiti? Wasn't that his name? I had to go back and look because I didn't. No, I think it was something like this. I think so. Moises. Um, yeah, I think so. So, I don't know why I chose this, but it kind of reminds me of oh, like this cobblestone thing that's in this park, hiding in the back of this park that I usually go to for walks. It doesn't look exactly like this at all, but this part over here reminds me of it. And I don't know really why I took an image of that. So again, oh, Dan. Now what? Okay, hold on. Dan. Dan was. I'm trying to think. Okay. Oh, Dan. Hmm. Then I was thinking of something though. And this also looked like kind of like little. Hmm. This is like a some kind of conductor of like some kind of something for energy or something, a source of energy. right? To not quote stand. And again, same thing. It's almost like, like it's almost like telling a story, this tower. And then it's like Tower of Babel or Babel, hmm, to confuse the language. And then we just wonder sometimes, is all of this stuff legit? What was source or somebody that wanted best was best for us the whole time, or was there other energies that went in and influenced things in order to create division and distraction, devastation, destruction? You know what I'm saying? Like you have to, and this is why I don't take every word like it people do in the Bible, like God said this and this is the God. No, because sometimes you have to go back, you had to take that right there, just a verse only, and go back and forth with it to see what we're really talking about, and use other tools and information as well. So, but again, here she is down here at the bottom with all the weight of the world on her shoulder while it's being built up, right? And again, she would have to at some point take these two beings by the ears to listen, because it seems as though nobody was. I mean, and that's just what I'm saying. Like, and most people want to, and I see this feminine energy because we see the other images where it shows her looking more, pleasant and seductive with the two lions or whatnot next to her, but and she chilling and they just chilling, but at the same time, it's almost like she, at this point, what I'm seeing right here is that she stand up for herself and say, hold on, people go, like, if you could, imagine being in a pit with two energies that are like, could actually really devour you, right? Almost look like it's in the dark. And it's like, are you going to keep on letting that happen? You're going to keep on being devoured. You see that you need to do something to get a hold of the situation, or you're going to learn how to, you know, like guide in a sense. Are you going to be sitting there acting like you don't understand, or are you going to take a chance and try to guide? Or even look how she's doing it. It looks like she's walking with them. Seems like maybe they even learned a thing or two from coming into her space. And she had to learn something real quick from them coming in her space. And so again, had it not been that way or been another way, so now what do we do? Do we take this information and from her and pass it on because she did not want to submit? Or what do we do here? And in this case, I don't think so. I don't think so. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Because even look, you even got up here two people already, look like two individuals that kind of look like her, ready to take, ready to get, you see? Look at that. They're ready to put the load or bear the brunt. And again, if that's the case, that's the case. But again, we're not gonna make this empress feel like she ain't the one that's holding that held this whole thing up. And that's the thing that I'm saying. It's not even about recognition really as much as respect. You see? And what's done in the dark should come to the light. And anybody dedicating their life, their time, their energy, being appointed to a position by source, to have people of this world. And this is why I'm saying we don't understand that these are the ways where we go wrong, because it's not right to not have somebody being aware of the circumstances, the outcome, or whatever they're getting themselves into. And that's why I feel like, no, it's definitely something else that's being done. It's a oppressing, suppressing information type of thing. And again, to just have faith and that's it. Okay, but faith without works is dead. So if you work into a whole time, I feel like, at some point I'm working towards something that feels like everything is against me. How can I then rest and say, oh, everything is being taken care of? It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work. So I'll be having questions. So even if it is source, he'd be like, girl, I'm about to, you know what I'm saying? You're getting out of line. I can see it now. You're getting out of line. But again, no, I need to know. Matter of fact, I'm telling you. And so we have this terracotta figure from Tanakh. And again, here she is. Look like, again, her legs are bound. These look like bracelets as well, but it looked like she's bound. She's been binded. And look at this part here. And this is what I'm telling y'all. Everything ain't so cute what you think when it came to these type of things. And like if you look really closely here, you'll see she got like a whole bunch of stretch marks and stuff around on her stomach. And then if you look closely at the stretch marks, you'll notice that these are figures of people in ancient markings. You know, almost remind me of these trees that I have over here in this forest. I went walking in there yesterday, but it was so many mosquitoes I had to kind of run up out of there. Um, you know, definitely like look like stretch marks here, but is these trees that if you take the bark off, they have like, and I don't know if somebody put that there or that's just the way it look. They have like this squiggly things all over it. I don't know. It's the weirdest, craziest thing. So, anyway, even here, this feels like she's holding a baby here. Look, this look like a baby, you know, the face facing this way, the arm, the body, her hand or something on it, like right there. That's what that looked like to me. Or even like the eye and the mouth. Either way, or an owl or a baby something. No, that's definitely what that looked like. Definitely. And somebody don't want you to see on the other side. It wasn't me. I don't think I cut it off right there. All right. And then you have here like a mask or something. Now this mask almost it has those same types of holes in it. Or you know they said that everybody that the women were making cakes or whatever, right? So yeah, huh? Very strange. It almost looked like a Jason mask, like the hockey mask. Y'all know I'd be all over the place with this stuff, but for real, it'd be making sense though. You know it do. Yeah. And her eyes are closed. Always the eyes closed. Mouth open though. Her mouth open. The eyes are closed. Again, I'm not even gonna. I was gonna research this on my own. Maybe some of you know what it means, and you will let me know down in the comment section. But still, it's kind of reminds me of two pods or two bolts or two, you know, different something here, right? Again, it reminds me of the drum from Esther, right? Even in that book that we were reading, the drum with the tight animal skin. And again, she looks like this is cording. Like, look at this. There's a piece of cord sticking off of her arm. And look, this is rope, dude. This is rope from one arm, wrist to the other. It looked like a design with the shirt, but no, I'm seeing that this is, and I can feel this. I can, as I'm explaining this, she is bound. She has been binded. This is this, and this is in the spiritual. I think from a spiritual, I just think that. And then this whole Uncle Mordecai, I'm just looking at things a little bit differently at this point now. We're gonna stop there. I'm gonna pull up a couple more, one more picture that I wanted to show, and I hope I remember which one it was. I was gonna tell you guys. We'll just stop there, and then we can look at the images that we have. Yeah, already. So, yeah. So again, I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Oh, you lying. You've been lying all this time that the volume wasn't on. What else?